Welcome to Value Vest Daily, where we analyze various hot topics related to health, food, and lifestyle. Do you ever feel like your energy is just on a total roller coaster? One minute, you're on top of your game, totally focused, and the next, bam, you're hit with brain fog and this deep fatigue that just makes no sense. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to dive deep into the science behind that hidden energy drain and uncover 5 seriously powerful, evidence-based ways to get your vitality back for good.
All right, just a quick but important note before we really get into it. This explainer is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. So please, always consult with your healthcare provider for any personal guidance. Okay, let's do this.
So does this question kind of hit home? That typical afternoon slump. Maybe you got a decent night's sleep, you ate lunch, but you still feel totally depleted and just off? Well, it turns out this is not just in your head. There is a very real, very powerful biological process that could be the secret culprit.
So here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to pinpoint that hidden culprit behind your energy drain. Then, we'll look at how your body is supposed to fuel up. After that, we'll break down 3 key strategies, all backed by solid science, to fix the problem. And finally, we'll wrap it all up into your very own prevention playbook.
So what is this invisible force that's just wrecking our energy levels? Well, it's a metabolic condition, and it completely disrupts how your body uses fuel. It basically leaves you running on empty, even when the tank should be totally full. It's time to name the culprit.
The big bad we're talking about is called insulin resistance. Now, to get what that means, you first have to understand insulin. Insulin is a super important hormone that acts like a key. Its job is to unlock your body's cells to let sugar, your main source of fuel, get in from your blood. With insulin resistance, your cells start to ignore that key. It's like they've gone and changed the locks. This creates a massive traffic jam of sugar in your bloodstream, while your poor cells are literally starving for the energy they need.
But here's the really good news, okay? This is not a one-way street, not at all. By understanding the actual science of how our bodies create and use energy, we can use real, evidence-based strategies to prevent, and even reverse this entire process.
Okay, I love this analogy because it makes everything so clear. Think of insulin as the key, and your cells as having little locks on them. In a healthy body, that key fits perfectly, opens the door right up, and lets all that glucose rush in for energy. But with insulin resistance, that lock gets all rusty and jammed. The key just doesn't work right anymore. So the glucose gets locked out, builds up in your blood, and your energy levels, they just crash. That simple difference is exactly why you can feel so exhausted for no reason.
So the big question is, how do we fix that rusty lock? Well, our first strategy is one of the most powerful tools we have, and that is simply getting your body moving. Exercise makes your cells way more sensitive to insulin. It's kind of like spraying some WD-40 on that rusty lock. And the science on this is it's undeniable. A huge meta-analysis, that's basically a study of studies, where they combine the results of a bunch of high-quality research, looked at 78 different clinical trials. And what did it find? That supervised exercise programs led to a nearly 14% reduction in fasting insulin levels. Now, that might not sound like a huge number, but in the metabolic world, that is a significant improvement. It's a real game changer. So how do you actually do this in real life? The goal is about 150 minutes of moderate cardio a week. We're talking brisk walking, cycling, anything that gets your heart rate up. Pair that with 2 or 3 resistance training sessions, but here's the most crucial part: consistency. The amazing effects of exercise start to fade after about 72 hours, so making movement a regular part of your life is absolutely vital. But look, exercise is only part of the equation. You've heard the saying, right? You can't out-exercise a bad diet. It's so true. What you put in your mouth plays an equally massive role in managing your blood sugar and your body's insulin response. Just get a load of this number. A top-tier study, a randomized controlled trial, found that when you combine exercise with a low-glycemic diet, you can boost your insulin sensitivity by an incredible 76%. So, what are low-glycemic foods? Just think of them as slow-burn fuel. They release sugar into your bloodstream nice and gradually, which prevents those crazy energy spikes and the inevitable crashes that follow. And it's not just about what you eat, it's also about maintaining a healthy weight. Research from Yale, Yale, shows that losing just 5 to 7% of your body weight, which for many people isn't a huge amount, can improve your body's overall insulin sensitivity by a staggering 40%. That's a small change for a massive impact. So the practical advice here is all about making smart swaps.
Trade those high glycemic carbs, like white bread and sugar, for low glycemic powerhouses like quinoa, oats, or beans. Make sure you're getting plenty of fiber. And here's a great pro tip. Always try to pair your carbs with some protein or healthy fats. That really slows down the sugar release. And if weight management is on your radar, a modest 500-calorie deficit each day is a really sustainable place to start.
All right, our third and final strategy. This one moves away from the stuff we put in our bodies, like food and exercise, and focuses on our internal state. We're talking about two silent saboteurs of our energy: poor sleep and chronic stress. These two are deeply, deeply connected to the hormones that control your insulin sensitivity. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how both poor sleep and high stress lead to the exact same problem. Just 1 week of sleeping only 5 hours a night can slash your insulin sensitivity by 20%. How? Because it jacks up your stress hormone, cortisol. And guess what chronic stress does? The exact same thing. It floods your body with cortisol, which basically screams at your body to keep blood sugar high for a fight or flight response. Both of these paths lead directly to that rusty lock on your cells. So the action plan here is pretty clear. You've got to prioritize getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, make your bedroom a sanctuary, cool, dark, and quiet. And to build that resilience against stress, just dedicate 10 to 20 minutes a day to mindfulness, meditation, or journaling. It's really all about calming that hormonal storm inside you.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground. We've unmasked the culprit, we've understood the science, and we've explored 3 seriously powerful strategies. So now, let's pull it all together into a simple, effective action plan you can actually use.
And here it is, your 5-part playbook for all-day energy. It's that simple. Move your body, choose those low glycemic foods, maintain a healthy weight, prioritize your sleep, and manage that daily stress. See how each one just builds on the others? It's a total package.
And look, this isn't just some nice theory. The landmark Diabetes Prevention Program study, a huge, important piece of research, showed that when people put these holistic lifestyle changes into practice, they can reduce their incidence of type 2 diabetes, which is really the end stage of insulin resistance, by an incredible 58%. This just proves you have immense power to change your metabolic future.
So please, remember this. The journey to better energy and better metabolic health, it doesn't require some massive, crazy overhaul overnight. It is all about making small, consistent changes that add up over time to create truly powerful results.
And that really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Looking at this playbook, which one of these changes feels the most doable? Which one could you start today?
If this explainer helped you understand your own energy just a little bit better, please subscribe, like, and share Value Vest Daily to help make people aware of life-changing topics covering your health and happiness. And hey, one more thing. Please put in the comments if you want us to deep dive into any specific topic. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.